Namaste, I'm Jyoti. I'm the founder, director of Ajanta Vihara Institute of Spiritual Sciences. Today, once again, I bring you updates for the new moon. But this new moon is very, very important because this is the last new moon of this year. Is it important? Just because it's the last new moon and we just have to follow some ritual to say, okay, bye. I'm done with you and I don't want to see you again and I'm moving to next year. It's not only about that, it is about focusing on a lot of things that you might have struggled through this year. Your own belief systems, your attachments, your ego, your pain, your fear. In fact, ego does come from fear. All that you've been struggling this year. Did you want to reach out to somebody and let them know that, you know what, I want to have a new beginning with you? Or do you feel that somebody just wrote you off, somebody just shut you out of their life and you've not been able to come out of it? And the pain is just not leaving. No matter what you're trying, you're not able to let go of the pain. Your own belief system, no matter how much you try, but you keep going back into those loops, you keep going back into that belief system. Your own environment may be toxic environment in terms of friends, job, people, life, surroundings, the society, name it. We have so many different kind of environments. Do you think you're not able to let go of your attachment to these environments, or the belief systems which seem to be influenced by these environments? If you feel it's been a tough year and no matter what you tried, you just couldn't find a breakthrough for yourself, if you feel that in spite of keeping your hopes up, in spite of keeping your positivity up, in spite of believing that this year will turn out great for you, and in spite of giving your best shot, you still feel nowhere, you're stuck, or it's your mistake, or others have failed you, others have betrayed you, or um, life just doesn't seem fair. If this is the thought, then it's time for you to sit down this new moon and allow all this to come out. I never encourage people to suppress their feelings. In fact, I always encourage them, bring your feelings to the peak. Don't shy away from feeling. Doesn't matter whether it's good, bad, ugly, feel. Allow yourself to feel. The moment you allow yourself to feel, you're releasing this energy from you, the negative energy, the stagnant energy, or this negative energy which will become eventually stagnant or will start to block beautiful energy flow of your body, will start to build a lot of bad prana in you. And we don't want that. We want our prana to be beautiful. We want our prana to be good, high frequency, or else we start to see it in our life in various forms. So it's important for you to sit down and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to allow myself to feel. Now, how are you going to do? It's not something that most of us feel comfortable doing just by sitting and allowing feelings to pop up. In fact, most of us are not comfortable connecting with our feelings. We would rather shrug it off and say, hey, you know what, shrug it off, dust it off, and let's just start the next thing. So we are like, it's okay, it happened, and I'm going to deal with it by moving on to the next thing. Whether it's your relationship, okay, somebody's broken my heart, let me move on to that. Or finding a diversion or a distraction. Okay, I felt stuck here, or I'm feeling too attached to this person and I don't want to look into it because I'm so fearful of getting rejected. Okay, fine, let me find a distraction. Okay, I feel that in this situation, I might have to own up a lot of things, and Maybe I messed up somewhere and it's too much of a burden to take responsibility. I would rather stay in a victim space. Okay, fine. My ego will look into it. I don't have to say sorry to anybody. I don't have to deal with this. Uh, I'm just going to find a replacement. So, distractions, replacements, totally choosing to ignore our own pain, our own fears are not doing good to us. And in fact, if this year did become difficult for you, or if this year wasn't that happy or that fruitful, and somewhere you do feel something is not right, then it is important this new moon to sit down and ask yourself, what is it that went wrong? Why did it go wrong? So what's going to help is take a paper and pen, because when you write things down, mind accepts it better. So write it down. Even voice notes and all don't help so much as written text does. Sit down and start to look, maybe month after month. First, start with that. How was my Jan, Feb, March, April? And then start to pick up people, because as you move forward, you'll start to remember, oh, okay, this happened in this month. Oh, wow, that happened. Oh, this person left me. Oh, this person was mean to me. Oh my God, these people just outcasted me. Or, oh my God, I did something nasty to somebody. Or I got hurt, or I lost my job, or my business didn't do well, or I was waiting for somebody to say sorry, that person didn't. As you move forward with every month, memories will start surfacing, and with memories, certain pain, fear, disappointment, anger, disgust, resentment, lot of emotions will start to pop up. Some very happy ones, some not so happy ones. Start to make a note of it. Wherever you feel happy, start ticking it with one color, or start writing it with one color. And wherever you felt maybe another emotion, say sad, could be yet another color, angry, another color. That way you will be able to map out, which kind of emotion, which kind of frequency, which kind of mind space you've been in this year, and why it happened. Color does have an important, kind of an effect on us. So colors do kind of inspire us, motivate us, or even make us feel gloomy at times. So start to do these kind of color coding by writing things in color, or taking it up, or circling it, or whatever. That'll give you an idea as to where you stand today as you move out of this year. Because once you look at it, you'll be having a clear idea as to out of it, what is it that needs to go, and what is it that you need to hold back to yourself. So let's call this as our exit journal, exiting 2023. These papers, or you can actually take a notebook, because this then becomes a reminder when you enter into 2024 as to what all you were able to let go, what all served you and what didn't. Your expectations were met or not. Were there any kind of dreams that got fulfilled, any nightmares that you were able to finally kind of disintegrate from your life, any belief systems you're holding on to. Because when you have all that written down, it's easier to go back and forth and to say, okay, this much work I've done, I need to do more of it. Or maybe I just couldn't do a lot of work. So it is very important to write these down. So let's talk a little more about this exit journal of your 2023. So every month, say for example, we're starting with Jan 2023. Now I know a lot of you are going to say, why do I need to dwell into past? Why do I need to go back? Because I've already dealt with and it's done, and I don't want to go there. If you are really feeling that you don't need to go there, and somewhere the thought of it in itself is bringing some kind of an irritation, anger, sadness, fear, discomfort, then that means there is some amount of attachment to it. Consciously, maybe you're not aware of it, but subconsciously, for sure, there is this attachment. So it helps to actually sit down and say, okay, you know what, I'm going to go back there, not because I want to re-experience it or want to get stuck there, or maybe feel weak, experiencing that moment, but I want to go there because I want to do my closure. It doesn't serve me anymore, and so I don't want to be attached to it. So then put down, okay, Jan 2023, what are the things I need to exit from? Because this is your exit journal that you're making. Sit down and say, okay, maybe Jan started great for me. I experienced so much of wonderful things because I was so positive. I had my bucket list ready, I had my agendas ready, I had my POS, my plan of action ready, I had my to-do list ready. uh, so it started great. Acknowledge that, put it in maybe one color. As I said, you could use different color for different emotions. So maybe happy one, angry another, sad, disappointment, jealousy. You could use different colors. It's your journal, and you should be able to go back and forth and immediately connect with it if you at some time you want to, like, you're experiencing, say, jealousy again. Okay, I'm experiencing jealousy, let me go back to my exit journal of 2023, which I did on new moon, in December, last new moon. So then you sit down and you say, okay, I experienced this. Now what is it that need to go? What needs to go is that although I started with maybe a lot of vigor, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement, but somewhere I started to lose my motivation. Why did I lose my motivation? Was my expectation too high from something, or was I stuck somewhere, or did I lose my source of motivation? Was it some person? Did I lose my support system? Put it down there. Put it down, whatever you felt. Then move to February, then move to March. Put it all down out there. Say, for example, you say, okay, I'm going to write all, or I'm going to write everything in different colors, but the one that I feel was a doing of somebody else, I'm going to put a big black dot next to it, or I'm going to put a red dot next to it, so that I know that I should not be trusting such people or this person. So put all that red dots sorry, because at the end you will be able to see these red dots and say, okay, um, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, 7 people. And because then your mind will start to kind of connect it. We are intelligent beings, our mind is always processing all this information and trying to make sense of it. That's why human beings are so unique. I won't say different, but unique, like the way other animals are or other beings are. We're also unique because we've got something called self-consciousness, and self-consciousness is something that is it helps us in growing higher in our frequency. It helps us in being in the state of gratitude, love, forgiveness, which are the highest of the frequencies. So you don't choose to be in state of gratitude, forgiveness and love for somebody else or as a good karma. You do it because you want to be in a high frequency. You don't want to suffer anymore, you don't want to struggle anymore, you want to experience abundance. um, all kinds of abundance, whether it's your health, it's money, it's love, it's security, it's safety, any aspect, your spiritual wisdom, your material growth. So that's the reason why we choose to be in that state. So when you start looking at all these, say you put black dot against all those experiences or incidents where people betrayed you, people hurt you, people brought their ego in and demeaned you, or made you feel really, really small. In that moment you felt small. Put it there, and when you start to map it, you'll realize a pattern emerging, a pattern that speaks more than what you've been noticing, more than just what you felt that there, more than what people made you feel. You will start to realize that a lot of it was because of your attachment, because now you're not feeling that, or maybe even if you're feeling, it is less than what you felt at that point. And that's when your own inner wisdom will start to take over. As I said, we all have self consciousness because we are human beings, which means there is inner wisdom that we are connected to. That inner wisdom, that inner self will start to reflect upon why same thing kept happening, why a certain pattern kept repeating, why did you choose to trust people who could not be trusted, why did you choose to believe in people who did not have the capacity to you know to support that trust that you showed towards them. A pattern will emerge, and you'll then realize your own attachment to pain, attachment to fears that made you maybe hold on to these people, that made you believe that you needed the support system, but actually um, it was your fear that was making you believe that you needed that validation in that moment. The praises, the appreciation in that moment they were bringing to you, or the dependency that they were showing on you, was somewhere validating your own need to be accepted, your own need to be known as a good person, or your own need to feel secured in that dependency, that oh okay, this person's dependent on me, or oh okay, this person needs me, that means I'm wanted, I'm needed. So it goes quite deep. Of course, I'm not asking you to go as deep as normally I end up doing, but I'm a therapist, so also I'm an empath, and I do feel people. I feel people a lot. I feel energies. So I do hear words that are not spoken, and I do feel intentions which are not expressed, and I do feel pain which is not shared, and I do feel fears which are hidden inside, deep inside. And I do see a lot of people going through such shifts during new moon. And every new moon, I have people, in fact, much prior to new moon, 3, 4, 5 days prior, and on new moon, and after that also for a few days, I have people reaching out to me with so much of pain, depression, sadness, and anger, and sometimes people even reach out with having no hope left in them to believe in themselves. And that is the very reason I started these energy updates, because I know how these things impact and affect. Some of you might just discard this information saying, what is all this energy update? It's okay, it's your choice, and I respect you for your choice. But just because you're not aware, just because you're not paying attention, doesn't mean that this information is not important, or this is not an information. It is an information, and in fact it's factual in its nature. It is. These are facts that I'm bringing to you. I've had people who have gone into such deep depression during new moon time that they just couldn't get up, leave their bed for 3 to 4 days. I've had people who've had bad stomach upset. I've had people who just ended up having very high fever, a lot of anger. I've had people who just feel so lost during new moon. So if you're feeling something around this time, then ask yourself, and there's nothing wrong in monitoring your moods, because one is to reject it and say, oh, this is all waste, this is all meaningless, and it doesn't impact, and I'm not going to pay attention to it, and suffer every cycle of new moon with your moods, and with throwing your tantrums, getting angry at people, feeling low, feeling disconnected, lonely, or to actually sit down and say, hey, you know what? Let me expand on my awareness. Let me understand what exactly is this. At the end, I am water, and everything around me is water. When Earth's water is getting impacted, when every possible water body on this Earth is getting impacted, then logic says I should also be getting impacted. Use that logic and move forward, and maybe you'll be able to break this mood cycles, these mood tantrums that you get into, or the depression or sadness that you get into. Your body gets into completely non-functional space, your mind gets into a deep fog state. You'll be able to move out of it slowly and gradually. That is the very intention with which I have started this, and it is helping a lot of people. So I know if you give yourself some time and listen, it will help. So coming back to our exit journal of 2023, once you have mapped it, understand what is your attachment. If you are still attached to that pain, let me put it this way, because most of us don't like this word attachment. That makes us come across very weak or vulnerable. So let me put it this way: if you still experience certain pain, or if you still experience certain sadness, or if you still experience some fear, then that means there is an attachment to that emotion, and that needs to go. So that is when, rather than saying, oh, okay, why am I attached, I don't know why am I attached and all that, just start working on this energy and say, I want this fear to purge out. I want my body to bring this fear out, irrespective what the source has been. I don't like being attached to it. I don't like experiencing this fear, this pain, because I don't want to be in that suffering state anymore. So I'm just going to let go of this. And you start talking to your body, you start talking to each and every cell in your body. If you're not able to talk, write it down. As I said, this is your exit journal of 2023. Write it down. I choose not to be attached to this fear. I choose not to be attached to this pain. Fill your pages up by writing this. This is your mantra which you put in your journal. I'm not attached, because the moment you start telling this, your subconscious is registering. And as you keep writing more and more, maybe 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, whatever you feel comfortable, you're not exhausted, you can do it for a few days. It's not like you just have to do it on the new moon. The energies are going to be there. It will start to register. It will go and get registered, and subconscious mind will start working, and it will say, oh, okay, I'm getting a command that this is no more important, this need not be stored. And subconscious will start giving commands to the body, and the body will start to flush out, because the body has got the command to let it go, and not to store it, not to hide it, not to compress it, not to suppress it, right, not to hold on to it. So body will release it. Body doesn't have that emotion that, oh my god, the mind is telling me but I can't let it go. It isn't like this. Body just follows your commands. So start working on that. So that's your second bit in your exit journal for 2023. Then after that, you have to sit down and take some responsibilities, which means take some responsibility, which means acknowledge where maybe you could have given more focus to your needs. You could have given more focus to your intuition. You could have given more focus to what was not working for you, which maybe you knew but you still carried on because you were so attached to that person, or you were so attached to that situation. Or give that focus on yourself and take the responsibility for your happiness and your sadness, and say, in that moment I really wanted to be with that person. In that moment, I really wanted to experience that. In that moment, I really wanted to believe that that person cares for me, that person loves me. I really wanted to believe my boss appreciates me. I really wanted to believe my business would do great. It's okay, accept it. Don't be so overly critical about yourself and say, oh, it didn't work, it didn't work, now let's move on to the next thing. No, just say, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. It's your journal. So say out there that, oh, you know what? I really allowed myself this, because in that moment, that's the hope, that's the positive mindset I had. And after that, the next page that you go on to, put out there that yes, it did not work out for me. And then maybe try to put down the reasons why it didn't work out. It didn't work out because I wasn't involved in it. It didn't work out because it was something that I knew would end. And if you don't have answers, just leave that blank and say, as and when it keeps coming, I will start putting it down as to why I couldn't let it work. Why I couldn't let it work. Why did it not work for me? Why did I experience it? Put it out there. Just questions are enough right now. Because the moment you put questions, your subconscious is again taking these questions in and will start to bring it out. So the journal continues then. And now if you start the journal, by full moon you'll be ready with certain amount of clarity as to what needs to be released. As I always say, full moon is a time to release, full moon is a time to cleanse, full moon is a time to energize yourself. So start now these basic things, and you can keep going back and forth, listening to my video and following these exercises. You don't have to do it on one day. Start now, next day, and then the day after that, but try finishing it within 7 days of new moon, and then you'll be ready. If something more comes to you around after 7 days, also put it down, but start now and get this journal ready, your exit journal of 2023. And I'll see you around full moon or on the night of full moon, so that we can let go all that which does not serve us anymore together, and also get ready to step into 2024 and step into that thought, start building that thought that I'm going to have a beautiful entry journal for 2024. Till next time, stay tuned in. Namaste, love and light.